micdup.
Highlights from Lowlifes. Highlights from Lowlifes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Highlights from Lowlifes. I think this is 128 or 129, something like that. And for our fan, thank you for joining us again for this episode. It does look like we have a lot of questions tonight, so maybe there's more than one fan. That'll be good.
That'd also be a first.
Yes, we have a special guest. Amanda Vogt is with us. Amanda has written an article recently that caught the attention of a few of us. Amanda is a senior at Penn State University, and she has quite the resume at Penn State. She is a beat reporter on Penn State Sport Night. She hosts her own podcast called Chipping In Golf Podcast. That's on Spotify. She is the president for the Association for Women in Sports Media at Penn State. She works at Com Radio, the Penn State radio station, doing a football insider program, and she's part of the sports department content creation, and she's a sports writer for Penn State on SI, doing freelance work. She is from Wayne, New Jersey. Robbie, is that where the Fountains of Wayne are from?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's in the name.
And she has covered the last two
Wayne?
Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, I think. She's done that for the Associated Press. And she is currently covering football at Penn State. Has also worked for the Center Daily Times and the Daily Collegian. So what caught our eye, the CEO of micdup saw this article and passed it on, and we all loved it. She has been covering the Little League World Series and came across the town of Irmo, South Carolina. And she wrote an article that appears in Fangraphs that's called "The Most Baseball a Baseball Town Can Be." This is from January 26th of this year. Amanda, welcome to the show. Could you just give us an overview of how you stumbled upon Irmo and how the article came about? And then we'll pepper you with questions.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you guys for having me. This is going to be a fun hour. But Irmo, South Carolina, I came across them at Williamsport this past August at the Little League World Series, and just kind of talking with their manager, Dave Bogan. He would always talk about how it's not just their club that made it to a Little League championship. There were 3 other teams that also made it to Little League championships throughout the country in different divisions and in the softball division. And so after the Little League World Series ended, and through a partnership with that's how I was able to work with the Associated Press for that, which was an incredible opportunity after I got back here and worked with my department head of journalism, John Affleck. We were like, why don't you just go down there and see what you can find and do a story on it? So I reached out to Dave, who put me in contact with Bobby Jensen, who is the Irmo Little League president, and set up a time for me to go. So in October, beginning of October, I spent a few days, spent 4 days down there doing all of the reporting for the story, and I basically stumbled into a town that loves baseball pretty much more than anything. There's a local restaurant that would put up lineup cards when all the kids were playing, where all the locals go. Funny enough, the South Carolina Golf Association is located a mile away from Friars Gate, where they have all their practices, but there was only a golf course in Irmo that was actually shut down a few years ago. So there's not even a golf course in the town. So pretty much life revolves around baseball there, and all the players are super passionate about it. And in the fall, it's only fall ball, not really any of the all-star players playing, but you still have no room to even park your car in the 2 lots. You have to park at the elementary school next door. So it was a really fun environment, and all the people really care about it, and it's a place that people return to, which is what makes it such a special community and what made for a really, really fun story.
Yes, yes. We really enjoyed this story,
Thank
reading
you.
through it, and we're gonna point out portions of the story.
Okay.
In the pre-show, we kind of let you know where we might be going. But
Mhm.
Marty, why don't you start off with a question for Amanda?
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, Amanda, it's great to have you. Thank you very much for doing this and honoring our this honorable stage. But I said, in the time you spent in Irmo and the different
Mhm.
people that you met, Irmo, I thought is a suburb of Columbia, which is the capital of South
Yes.
Carolina. Well, how big is it? It's a small town, but it seemed to be have quite a decent sized population.
Yeah, it does. It's right on Lake Murray and like the huge lake that's there, and right, it goes kind of right pretty close to Columbia. So there are a lot of people that live there. I don't remember the exact population, but it's kind of like you fish, you play baseball, and you root for the Gamecocks. So my cousin actually goes to South Carolina, so I hung out with her for a little while I was down there too, kind of getting the lay of the land outside Irmo, just to see, I mean, the school in general where she goes, and just kind of how that kind of intertwines to what people care about that live 20 minutes away from the stadium and stuff like that.
Yeah, that is. Do you do tours? Because you've got me convinced. I mean,
I mean,
let's go.
it's a
Let's
really nice
go.
place. You should. It's nice.
Well, yeah, I'll save a couple of questions for later. Well, Robbie
Mhm.
will steal them, is what is going to happen actually. But you talked in the article about the Friar Gate, which is the name of
Mhm.
the park, the complex itself, and it had 3 fields and a softball field,
Yeah.
and all this. And I was trying, and later in the article, you talked about the numbers of the ladies, young girls
Mhm.
participating. 250 on one softball field, and 150, and then the fall ball, which is more, you said, in the instructional.
Mhm.
I mean, I mean, good God, practice must start at 4 o'clock in the morning and not end until 9 o'clock at night. But
Yeah, well,
that's outstanding
yeah.
number of participants in softball. You know, which is what you mentioned before, because it is a growing
Mhm.
sport, especially in the SEC. But that's phenomenal. That's
Yeah, it was really cool to talk to a few of the players and coaches from the softball teams, and kind of softball is the reason why Irma Little League is where it is. Softball was the first team to ever make it to a Little League championship a few years ago. And so that program kind of sparked interest and kind of got all the baseball kids in on going about things a different way between club ball versus rec ball with Little League programs. But that's why they got so much money to get lights for these fields. And now I know, just from what I've seen on Facebook, that they actually got permission to use the fields that are technically at the elementary school to even get more field space, not only just for softball, but other stuff like that, just because now they're expecting to have like over 800 or so, probably close to 1,000 kids participating in spring ball, which is pretty much underway. I think opening day is actually probably right around the corner for them down in Irmo with the first week of March coming up. So I'm sure their numbers are probably through the roof even more after having someone in Williamsport, because that's the most watched tournament of all the Little League championships. But it's a huge deal that more girls are getting involved with softball.
Yeah, the numbers were just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Now that's true. Yeah. So thank you,
Yeah.
Robbie. What do you got?
Well, Marty's got a golf podcast too. It's called What a Putts. So you guys should compare notes.
Yeah.
No, I'm mostly interested. I mean, obviously, there's got to be a huge volunteer network in that town to pull off
Mhm.
what they're doing. And traditionally, you don't think of, I mean, where we are anyway, the youth sports, it's pulling teeth and whatever to get the parents to come out, or even members of the community to come out and help out and volunteer. What kind of challenges do they face with that, or is it just something that naturally, organically happens?
I think it's definitely pretty organic, but the ones who are super, super involved, there's obviously fewer people. I think I was told there's about like five who are really like committing their entire life outside of their regular day job to doing it. But I feel like parents feel compelled to help out, even just to run the snack stand for a game. If it's just like one of the fall ball days that even if their kid isn't playing, but was going to go watch a friend anyway, just to kind of do their part because I think they realize that the success is dependent on anyone and everyone helping out. And I think it's never necessarily pulling teeth to get people to do it, but people realize how special it is and they want it to stay that way, even when their kids might age out and want to just still be involved in baseball in other ways. They're coming back to help and stuff like that. So it doesn't really seem like it's that hard to get people involved. Like their sponsors are all local businesses or stuff like that who have connections to it. They have one of the parents who works for the TV station out in Colombia. So he's always promoting what they're doing at Irmo and getting them even more attention. So I think that also drives people to that and wanting to help out and give back.
Yeah. Did
Terrific.
in your experience, did you see any issues with problem parents? Because that always plagues youth sports.
I didn't really see any of that. I think it's also because I'm not watching a traditional game. I'm seeing something where coaches might stop a player and have a teaching moment here or there, depending on what the situation was. It's more kind of fun and teaching, like a practice, like the scoreboards aren't even on. So there's no chance for there to be a bad call by the ump for a parent to go crazy, I guess, necessarily when I was there. But I'm sure it certainly does happen. It happens in pretty much every youth sport, and that's kind of been a huge part of that now. But from my experience when I was there, I did not see that.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Interesting.
you brought it up, and I said because we all one thing that we didn't discuss is that we all originally met playing adult league baseball together.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and I was kind of had to laugh when you were talking about the fall ball, and the coach will stop the game to make a point to a
Mhm.
kid or something. And I thought, if we had that when we were playing ball, we'd all still stink. So pretty, so it's probably a waste of space. But anyway, thank you. All right, that's my joke of the
Hey,
day. All right, I'm out of here. Bye. Okay.
Amanda, I was reading something in the article that struck me because
Okay.
um, I told you we're in California. Marty's in Nevada. Um, Youth sports here, in some ways, is dying.
Hmm.
Little League, Babe Ruth League, they are half the size they were 10 years ago. Kids aren't in, they aren't interested in baseball. There's too many other things to do. There's a cultural thing here too, because we're a bit of a melting pot of people. But the article talks about something that I found interesting. Um, a lot of kids don't play Little League or Babe Ruth here because that's not where the competitive games are. It's travel ball. Um, can you tell us how they fixed that problem in Irmo? Because I know travel ball, they saw travel ball as a competition for them. What
Yeah.
did they do?
So Joe Giulietti, who was kind of the big slugger for Irmo and Williamsport, kind of had that same question come up when his family had moved to Irmo because they didn't really understand the difference. They were in Texas and were told, well, travel ball's where you want to go rather than club, rather than little league stuff like that. And so what Irmo did is they noticed that they were losing a lot of players to this, but these travel teams still wanted to use their facilities to host tournaments. And so the president at the time had said, okay, you can use our fields, but you also need to have a certain percentage of your players competing in our leagues. And so the reason why Irmo got so good is through this process. They're having all these kids on travel teams also playing for Irmo, but they're not playing with their travel team. They're getting split up into all of these teams and playing against each other. So you're putting the kids that are the best of the best and through like trying to make these all-star teams, playing head to head, also playing in travel ball in some situations, doing both. But because then when it comes time to make an all-star roster, they have all that travel ball talent there too. And so by incorporating those players into that and working out a deal, they used to give a certain percentage of sales from the concession stand to travel teams to help fund them. I don't recall if that's still kind of what they're doing, because now when there are travel tournaments that are hosted on those fields, they will get a cut of that. It kind of goes both ways a little bit, but because they fostered that relationship early, people bought into both sides and realized, okay, if we're successful here, we have a chance to make it to the world stage and play against some of the best kids in the country at the biggest level of the year.
Yeah, yeah, and it looks like it's working.
Yeah.
I I don't know of any program here that's growing. They're all shrinking.
hmm
Um,
This one's
and
growing.
and our favorite sport is baseball. It will always be baseball, but
hmm
it's not the case with the kids around here that are growing up. There's too many other uh, things competing with baseball. So it's good to
Yeah.
see that it's working in Irmo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
And
hey, Robbie, why don't we
well,
take a quick break?
let me just
Oh, you
throw
got.
something
Go
else
ahead.
in, because it was in the article, and I thought it was a good place to mention that. What about the kids that are playing in the league and they're not in the travel ball, but they're
hmm
having a chance to have these travel kids as teammates? And I think with it ties what Robert was saying, why it's dying, and you mentioned it at the back part of the article, and I thought that may be the key, is that these fields are not closed. From I get the impression these fields are not closed, because you talked
Yeah.
about a little bit about the field staying open, and here's the sandlot game,
hmm
here's the pickup game,
Yeah.
here's and again, you a lot of these ballparks in California and here in Nevada. The volunteers have done a lot of work on them to get them nice and pristine, and then shut them down when the kids are not playing. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes. And you brought it up, and that may
hmm
be one of the secrets to Irmo's success is to keep those things open and let the kids know that
Yeah.
the fields are open and the pickup game. So I'm sorry I cut you off. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Made my
And
point.
I mean, think about it. It's right next to an elementary school. So if after school
Ah,
a couple of kids want to go play a pickup game or whatever, they just have to walk literally right through, like down the sidewalk 50 feet, and you're at Friars Gate. At these fields. So obviously if there's other events or whatnot, it seems like that wouldn't be a problem for most of these kids. But having it there like that makes it kind of easy for people to want to go. Like there's kids who don't have a game that day waiting for one of the fields to vacate for the night before going on themselves, not necessarily knowing each other, and just like having fun running bases, like playing catch with whatever they can find. I saw kids throwing up pebbles and whacking them with sticks. So you can
Yeah,
make baseball out of everything apparently.
yeah,
So
I'm
it
sure the
worked.
parents love that.
yeah,
They were
yeah,
watching their other
yeah,
kids, it seemed like, but yeah.
yeah. So on Marty's thought, I mean, it's kind of foreign to me.
hmm
Parents around here wouldn't let their kids out alone uh, if it's close to dark. It's just not seen around here. Everybody's worried about whether or not their kid
hmm
will be attacked in some way, shape, or form. But it sounds like that community is everybody knows everybody.
Yeah, everybody
Yeah,
pretty much does. You get used to seeing the same people over and over again, and friendships spark, and it's like, oh, so and so's gonna be there. Can I go? And they all end up going. The community is so giving. There was a player I was told about who always showed up but was never on a team, and they asked, "Do you want to play baseball?" And he said, "Yeah," but his family didn't have the means to financially support him. The community came together, put together old gear for this kid, and then he was on a fall ball team this fall. So it's just how the community rallies together in support of making sure everybody gets a chance to experience this great game. So I think that's what also just makes it so special.
Perfect.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Great.
perfect.
Oh, hey, Robbie, sorry I cut off your commercial break. Go for
Oh,
it.
were we already there? I was just fascinated by the storytelling. All right, here. Sorry, we have to annoy you for a minute, Amanda.
All good. All good.
But honestly, it is my favorite part of the show. It's a segment we like to call "What You Drinking," and 128 or 9 episodes, whatever we decide the count happens to be. We've been sponsored by our good friends at Almanac Brewing. They are one of America's premier craft brewers. Delicious beers, full flavored. Some are easy to drink like they're supposed to be, and some are a challenge like they're supposed to be. And we love these guys. I am drinking the True California Lager tonight, and in terms that Amanda can understand, this is fancy Yingling.
All right.
What are you guys drinking?
Well,
What do you got, Marty?
I got the Hugs. It's the Hugs Hefeweizen. And once again, and what everything Robbie says about Almanac is true. It's great flavor, but it goes down smooth, and it's not like that traditional Hefeweizen. You kind of get a little pasty because of the wheat paste aftertaste in it. It doesn't happen here. Nice, smooth, but yet very, very flavorful. Hugs Hefeweizen. And, I
Okay.
didn't like Hefeweizen until I tried this. I really did.
That's what you'd say about all beers. I didn't
But that's my
like it until I tried
tagline.
this.
That's my tagline. You see?
All right. I'm drinking my new favorite, my current favorite, I should say, the Almanac Adventureland. And Amanda, this is the brewery, a map of the brewery on the can with all of the play areas, like the cornhole court, the open yard out front of the
There you go.
brewery. They've renamed the brewery the Adventureland because everybody comes there every night to watch sports or have a banquet. The food is great. The atmosphere is great. And Robbie, how many beers? It's got to be 100, huh?
Yeah, they have like 32 currently active beers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. This is a Pilsner. Tonight, I'm staying away from the IPAs. I wanted to behave properly on the show. So, thanks, Almanac.
Hey, we got a what you drinking call before we close it up.
Oh, cool.
Just sitting here waiting for the show to start in beautiful downtown Elk Grove. What you drinking? I'm having a Almanac True American Lager. Perfect for the 70-degree weather with no wind.
That sounds phenomenal right now.
I feel like he's
Yes.
haunting the Pennsylvanian.
Yeah, that's right.
I apologize for our compatriot Amanda. It is. I'm gonna have to make a trip to LA this weekend, and the temperature is supposed to get in the 80s.
Yeah.
Wow. I was lucky to get in the 30s this week. So
All right. Well, anyway,
All right,
thanks
hey.
to Almanac. And if you're out in California or you live here or you're making a trip out, make sure you get out to Alameda, see the brewery. It's a great place. And if you do go by the brewery, tell them you heard about them from the Highlights from Lowlife show, and they may take pity upon you.
Right. Yep.
See, it works every time.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get into another round of questions. Marty, you want to start it off?
Yeah, and so I'm going to leave one for later because it was brought up a couple of times. But your article mentioned how big the community is involved
Mhm.
in the program, to the point where their lineups and jerseys are plastered on the wall
Mhm.
of the Lucky Burger Shack.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you may not have noticed that I'm a little larger than the average bear, so I love burgers. So how did you have were you at Lucky's Burger Shack? Tell me about your experience at Lucky's Burger Shack.
I was there. I did not eat there, but it did. I know. I had to go at a time where they weren't going to be packed, so I could have this interview happen. But everybody said that that's the place to go. But yeah, you walk in and there's a Southeast jersey from the first softball team to make it to the Little League World Series. All their signatures are on it, which is really, really cool. And it's kind of like how at the ballpark itself, they have all these blown up posters of pictures from the kids. So when I was there, they didn't put in the ones from this past season yet. Those were getting installed later in the fall. So now they're already out. So you'll see all the kids from each tournament that they made with pictures and plaques with their names on them. That'll stay for the whole time. But it's just little things like that where you go back maybe 5-10 years after and you still see your name up there, or you still see like your friends' names, or it's a way that they remember and honor these teams. And I mean, I never expected a community to get into it so much that they wanted to know who exactly they were rooting for. And some of these tournaments, there was a couple out in California. The people in Irmo would stay up late and watch them and send texts to the coaches and players that were there, wishing them luck, cheering them on, and stuff like that. So time zones didn't matter. They were all going to go. If Irmo had made it to championship weekend, there was going to be a bus of fans from Irmo all the way up to Pennsylvania to bring them. Unfortunately, they did not make it. But it just shows the dedication of just willing to go anywhere and everywhere for them. And to watch at a place like that, it seemed like a really cool environment. It's also right next to a Waffle House.
Oh, perfect.
Well,
Okay.
and there
That
was
makes
another
everything
there
better
was
now.
another
Okay.
there was another reference about food, but I'll leave that to one of my compatriots to have you go over that one.
Okay.
Yeah, it had a unique name, but let's put it there. Okay.
Yeah.
But thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay, Robbie, what do you got?
Well, I had a couple of different ways to go, but I think I'll stay on the track that Marty's onto about the town. Well, I'm not going to bring up chicken butt donuts yet. We're
What?
I just kind of in reading the article, it sounds like the town feels like it could be a little isolated, and yet they've got a big pro bass tournament every year, and they're
Yeah.
only 20 minutes from Columbia, so they're not really isolated,
It's
and that probably contributes, right, to the whole
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, it has pretty much all of your normal chain restaurants, chain stores, and kind of mixed in are all those local businesses and stuff like that. They're actually in the middle of building a new town hall for Irmo. That wasn't ready yet, but I think that's what makes it pretty cool. I mean, it doesn't feel isolated when you're there. It's just a bunch of residential neighborhoods. I mean, it doesn't feel any different from kind of the town vibe that I guess I grew up with. I mean, other than the climate a little bit, but it just seemed like very welcoming anytime you'd walk into a place. It's like the typical Southern charm. Everybody kind of asks you how you're doing, whereas like if you're running around the lake that I grew up around, it's kind of like you don't want to actually make eye contact with that person if you don't feel like talking to them. So that's maybe my Northeast type of thing, but down south everybody's always welcoming, and it's like it seems pretty big even with all like to have chain stores like that, but you still kind of have successful small businesses throughout the entire community, which I think is really awesome and why people want to go out back, because they know they can find success of their own and raise families where they grew up and loved it so much.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, good point.
when Rob brought up that you were going to be on the show and we were talking about the town, and obviously we hadn't heard of it until we read the article, but
Yeah.
I think in our minds we all went straight to like a picture of Mayberry and quirky characters and a real old town and kind of way out in the woods, and it does seem like it's kind of a cot. It's a modern world with a little
Yeah,
old world
and
charm.
they have like an Okra Strut festival every year, which initially started to raise money to build a library. So it was pretty crazy that that is still going on, and everybody gets involved with it. But the Williamsport team was visiting the Braves, I believe, so they weren't there for it. But it's like something that it's like if you live in Irmo, you like have been to the Okra Strut, and if you don't, you must have a really good excuse for why you weren't there. That's kind of the vibe I got. It's like you must have been, or else like you had a family emergency, you were traveling for work, or like you missed your alarm to get up for the day, like tragically. Like I feel like there's no excuse to miss it.
Attendance
I
will be
need more
taken.
information here because I feel that there's no way you should be celebrating the worst vegetable in the world.
Oh, wait a
okra.
minute. Oh, you just haven't, you can't cook. You just haven't prepared it right. Okra is
Oh, it's
great.
like
I've
It's
eating
never
great.
string. Come on, come on.
Ooh.
Amanda, tell us what
Excuse me.
is the
Excuse me.
okra strut?
Yeah, it's
Is it a
basically
festival, a parade?
yeah, it's
What?
kind of like a parade, and they have different vendors, and it's pretty much one primary vendor that supplies the whole thing. But there's like kind of like almost, I guess, like a carnival-esque vibe. There's stuff for families to do, and people kind of just take over this whole weekend, live bands and stuff like that through kind of like one of the main like town park areas where they have room to do it. And so everyone kind of gets involved with it, and it's like one of the longest traditions of the town that they're really proud of, even if it is some niche thing on their website. They have a whole website dedicated to it. And I think this year might have been the 50th or around the
Wow.
50th. There was some anniversary for it, which was an even bigger deal. But that's like one of the biggest community things. And with the new town hall they're building, they're trying to make more community spaces for when the weather isn't as good. And in that terms, probably in the 40s. For them to do more stuff indoors and collaborate in other ways. I know art's a big thing down there. They have a couple art museums of just local artists
Oh.
showcasing work and stuff like that. So it's really cool place to be. Like on their sign
Okay.
it says Irmo, home of the okra strat. Like it's like the welcome to Irmo, home of the like that's the sign.
Okay.
So you have the
Okay.
okra strat and Little League. So
So they must have a whole bunch of different foods with okra in it, and you get to try
yeah,
those. Oh
I
God, no.
I've never had okra, so
Oh,
I can't really
God.
say.
Yes. Yes. Okra is good stuff. You can do fried, you can bake,
Oh,
you can
Maybe one
an
day.
okra salad, like sure, like a carrot salad or something. Come on.
We'll see.
We,
We'll see.
these
I'm
people, you got to remember these. I'm in Nevada. I get around. These people are in California. I think they're imprisoned and can never get out.
hey, Marty.
Hey,
I have
if
all
I
I
ever go
need.
back, I'll time my visit with the okra strut. I'll get back to you guys. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
yeah.
you're on. You got it. You're on.
Because I could live on the Lucky Burger and chicken butt donuts. That would be all I need. Yeah.
Say no more.
All right. Hey, Marty, you got another one for Amanda?
Yeah. Um, I, you said you were there in October, and this was during the fall ball, which you kind of mentioned before was a little more low key, a little more instructional and all that. But it sounds like, from what you were sounding like, it's still the people come out, and you still have to park at the elementary school to get in. Why? What? Hold on. No, you were there as an outsider, and all of that was okay. This is not the big season where we're going to see the best kids and all that kind of stuff. But everybody's still there. Everybody still shows up. So there must be some sort of intangible. Did you pick up on what it was? Or was it just the pride of our program, the pride of our city? There's literally nothing else to do in the fall.
I mean,
when the Bass Festival. What was your impression?
I think it's just like the weather's nice, so I mean, it's a nice evening. Like, why not go? And I mean, you saw like the youngest divisions of T-ball where they're like just happy to run to a base and high five their coach and give them a hug, and so stuff like that of just cheering them on, like for even the smallest victories. So I think that is pretty nice and special to have a community like that. Whereas like the older games, the older kids playing is a little bit more competitive. You have it's coaches pitch, so coaches are primarily pitching to that. So I think everyone just kind of has fun doing it. I don't know if there's necessarily a secret, but everyone's really bought into it that it's almost like, where else would you be? Like I met up with the Giuliettis for dinner, and they're like, oh, we might even be stopping by just because like we have nothing really going on. It's kind of like, oh, you need something to do, and like I guess there's no show you're currently binge watching. Why not go outside and watch some baseball and like hang out with your friends for a couple hours, like if you have the time. And so I think that's kind of like people are like, oh, no, nothing going on, don't have any errands to run, might as well go to Friars Gate, see who's there. And that's kind of like what the vibe is if their child wasn't playing.
Yes, yeah, and I think, and I'm sorry if I phrased it badly, but
That's
that's the
okay.
kind of that's what I wanted to hear from you, and I think
Yeah.
that's super cool. And that's
Mhm.
community, and that
Yeah.
then when we see that's a lacking, and it's great to hear a community
Mhm.
that does that. So thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I wanted to hear. Thanks.
What you got, Robbie?
So in terms of, and it's little league and everything, right? How far up can the kids advance in that program before they kind of age out? And does the high school team, do those teams do they have the same attention as the little league thing? Is there
Yeah, so
a place up?
there's a senior division. I forget the highest age it goes up to, but it is higher than the 12, 13-year-old division that competes in Williamsport. So sometimes kids at that stage like are deciding, okay, am I committing to high school baseball versus this? So that kind of runs a little bit more too in line with it, which makes it tricky. So the players in the previous All-Star Williamsport team were still making that decision last time was there. So I don't ultimately know what they are going to be doing this season, but a lot of the high school players are still involved. Like with the Williamsport team, Dave Bogan had a son on the team, but his older son was at the high school, and the high school team came by and pitched to these kids, and they got acclimated to high pitching speeds. And then so when they go to Williamsport and they're facing a 70-mile-per-hour pitch, it wasn't that bad, and they were able to hit the ball pretty far.
Isn't that quasi cheating?
How is it cheating?
don't
I mean,
think
you get the high school kids
It's
pitching to the little league kids to
it's
get them to work
using
on
the
it.
resources. They're willing to do it. I mean, he might have said, "Listen, like you got to help us out." I don't
Hey,
know.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great that they,
hey,
like I said.
no, Amanda, it's interesting because out here in California,
Mhm.
Marty's right. If a team was caught doing something like that, having a high
Mhm.
school throw to them, they would likely be
Interesting.
penalized.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the
it's just seen in a different way. Yeah.
I like that interconnectivity that
Yeah.
the high
No, it's
school kids are
great.
coming to work with. I mean, it's probably a thrill
Mhm.
for the younger kids, and
Yeah, even
um,
just to like, because a lot of them have been through Irma Little League themselves. So even just
right.
hearing their experiences, and at this rate, a lot of them have competed in a championship level, whether maybe not necessarily Williamsport, because this was the first time in a long time that Irmo made it to Williamsport, but all these other divisions where they have experience and kind of like they all want to experience it. They all want to be on these road trips. Like these kids missed like Williamsport started on their first day of school. They were on a plane up to Pennsylvania. And so they missed a few weeks of school. They come back, and now you have kids asking for their autographs in the hallways. They're mini celebrities. Like one of the teachers called one of the kids' moms saying, like, your child's getting swarmed, like freaking out, like a little nervous about it. But they were all just so excited to have these small town heroes like in a class with them. And so I think that's like what makes it extra special. And it's why kids kind of see that and they're like, okay, I want to put in the work in too. I want a chance to do something special with my friends.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, very cool.
that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, switching gears a little bit, Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
So we've already been over your very impressive resume at Penn State.
Thank you.
Um, you're in your senior year.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to graduate.
Yes.
What is your dream job next? What
Yeah,
sport or sports do you want to cover, and where? What would you like to do?
I definitely want to stay in writing. My degree is in broadcast journalism, but I do like long form writing, like this piece that I did the best. Sport wise, the dream is to go into golf writing. That's kind of one of my favorite things. I know way too much about it. Other than that, like sticking with football, I mean, baseball is definitely up there of things that I would cover. So kind of open to everything right now. So we'll see what happens the next couple months when I graduate in May.
Well,
And
I
do you care where you live?
No, I really don't. And I don't know if that's necessarily problematic or not, but I'm kind of open to going to different places and exploring different parts of the country and the world. Like, I loved doing a project like this where I get to go to a place I've never been before. If you asked me to point to Irma on a map, I couldn't tell you. So doing stuff like that and kind of embracing a community and learning about it and getting to translate it so it comes across people like you guys, finding out about a place like this for the first time and sharing that with the world is kind of my goal with my career.
Well,
Excellent,
I urge you to continue writing because it's a well done article.
Thank you.
A lot of information, very fluid. You from beginning to end, you had me engrossed in the entire thing. I think you're very, hopefully you keep writing. You're very talented, and
Thank you so much.
I think you got a long way to go, and you're going to be very good. So thank you for that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So
Hey, let me take a quick break before we get into another round of questions. Talk a little bit about what's going on at micdup.
Mhm.
There is a brand new show coming up Friday called Hoosier Weekly. Amanda, we are actually making some inroads at micdup in colleges, and a lot
Oh,
of the
wow.
programs are looking at putting some students on the air because in the case of Indiana, we learned
Well,
that there's 2,500 kids in the program.
mhm.
Now, how are those kids going to get some airtime? Well, Gabe Jenkins and Campbell Manahan are going to be doing a show at 3 p.m. Eastern on the network. They're going to call it Hoosier Weekly, and they're going to talk about the basketball team and the baseball team and what's going on with them. They'll be on every week. Tomorrow, another episode of Dogs Hoops. Will Hopkins from UGA is he's done 3 shows in the last 6 days, keeping up with the UGA basketball team, and he says he's really enjoying the platform and the interaction he's getting with folks via questions and answers. So those 2 shows are coming up. Yankees Coast to Coast.
Whoa.
They won't be on the air
Wow.
until the Yankees make a significant signing or trade. So we're waiting for Mike
Okay,
and
you
Adam
have
to get
me
back,
there, but we
back
don't
in.
need to boo them.
We just angered Amanda. So Amanda, the Yankees Coast to Coast is 2 guys, one on the West Coast, one on the East Coast. And they get on a show, used to be once a week or so, and they bitch and moan for an hour and then take questions. So
Sounds about right.
It's been very, very entertaining. Yeah.
Our favorite part is when they argue and they're saying the same thing, but it's a big argument.
It must be a New York thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's also a
All
new
right.
show that I stumbled across, and I'm going to butcher the name, but it was about the New Jersey Devils.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was good. That was good. I enjoyed that.
Now you're just
Yes.
playing to our guest.
I'm not a big
Yeah.
Devils person, so that's
Oh,
okay.
Oh,
Rangers?
okay. No, but I thought
No.
yeah. So and again,
Yes.
go
Yes,
ahead. I'm sorry.
That was supposed to be a secret, Marty, but
Oh, was
the
it
folks
really?
at the folks at the Devils decided at the last second that the show could be listed publicly, and it was the Devils play-by-play announcer Matt interviewed one of the defensemen whose name escapes me,
Yeah.
Brendan Dillon.
Yeah.
And Amanda, we know Brendan because he was a San Jose Shark for a while, so we got to see him.
There you go.
And it was a very good show. You can see it in the archive of this app. And let's see it. It was I think it was last week. Yeah. So look for. It's called "Speak of the Devils."
That's what it. Yeah. It was that.
And we don't know when the next episode will be, but the first episode was very well received.
It was good.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's get back at some questions.
Can I jump in?
Sure.
Okay, because you mentioned your Penn State,
Yes.
and you mentioned in the introduction about football.
hmm
So I'm going really off script and I'm still trying to understand what happened to Coach Franklin.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. What that was just out of the blue.
It I guess it can seem that way to people who aren't in it every week like I am, but I if he did not beat Ohio State or do a college football playoff run, I think he was going to be gone regardless, just because he just hasn't been able to climb over that hump. But after that Northwestern game, I will never forget that press conference. I was working that game, and I go in there, and he walks up to the podium very, very slowly, but it feels like he's making eye contact with rows and rows of media in the room, and is speaking very like softly, feels dejected, lifeless in his tone. And he's asked, do you still want to be the head coach here at Penn State? Basically danced around the question. Drew Aller had left the field. The quarterback, moments before the game ended, asked about the status, and he tells the media he's going to be done for the year. But the locker room didn't know. The players come out after Franklin to get interviewed, and everyone's going, okay, talking to Denida Sutton, who's one of the best defensive ends from Penn State right now, eligible in the draft this year, asked what's going through your head about Drew Aller missing the rest of the season. And he goes, what? He had no idea. So that was also very bad. So we kind of handled things from that stretch of losing the whiteout game to Oregon, to UCLA, and then Northwestern kind of poorly, and kind of almost like he knew what was coming basically once you lost that second game and the playoffs are basically out of the question. And then he was fired the next day. So after that press conference, I knew it was going to happen at some point. Pulling the trigger in the middle of the season was kind of chaotic, not only from a coverage standpoint, but just from how the heck is the team going to operate the rest of the season. But Terry Smith stepped in and got the team to win some games down the stretch. And then I was in the Yankee Stadium press box at the Pinstripe Bowl. So that was
they
cool.
did great. Yeah.
And they won that, ended on a high note. Now Matt Campbell's in. It's a whole different era. There's more accountability. Players today were saying that Matt Campbell's talked to them more than James Franklin ever did at some point. So it's a very interesting dynamic.
Okay, that's perfect. That's exactly what the insight I was looking for. Because on the West Coast, we heard Franklin and his great successes, and he kind of stumbled, was having a bad season, and was gone. So thank you for your insight. That's perfect. Thank you.
Anytime.
Yeah, we got to get her back. She's good.
All right. We'll do another show.
Yeah.
Hey, Robbie, what do you got?
Yeah, I was reading your bio and I noticed you covered. I really enjoyed the Winter Olympics this year because you didn't have to watch figure skating all the time.
So did I. Love curling.
Yeah, the biathlon. There was other stuff though. I don't know why, but this year it seemed to resonate with me more. I noticed in your bio you covered the Paralympics in Paris.
Yes.
And which is fascinating to me. I'd love to hear about that experience.
Yeah, that was probably one of the coolest things I've ever done. And that was also through Penn State's collaboration with the Associated Press. A team of us skipped like the first 2 weeks of class up here in fall 2024.
Yes.
Yeah, it was huge fun.
Liberal arts.
In Paris. So what the heck? Come on.
We were able to go and cover so many different things. I primarily did stories about the veterans of Paralympic teams who have been through several Paralympics, kind of saying how things have changed, what still needs to happen, what they've noticed. And I also did something since LA is hosting the Summer Olympics next, because of how much Paris really embraced Paralympians and filled arenas, even when it wasn't just Parisians competing, like, is now the time the United States could do the same. And so having a sit-down interview with the CEO of the LA 28 Games was pretty cool for that piece that I did. But it was really just inspiring to see these athletes compete and their stories, and it kind of changed my perspective about how people consume sports and what sports does for someone, not only competing in it, but also watching it and going to a blind football match, which is really just these athletes with visual impairments wear blindfolds, and the soccer ball has a rattle in it. So you use your ears to kind of figure out where the ball is, but the crowd has to stay silent so they could hear it. And so you're in the stadium that was used for beach volleyball in the Olympics, with the Eiffel Tower in the backdrop, the sun setting. It's the gold medal match between Argentina, I believe, and Paris. And then during every break, the Parisians are waving their flags, going crazy. But as soon as it's back, it's quiet. It goes to penalty kicks. And France ultimately won. And it was it was pretty surreal. And that wasn't something I was specifically covering. I was just there with one of my close friends covering it with me just for fun to experience it. And it was quite frankly one of the coolest things I've ever got to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Excellent.
truly athletes. That's
Yeah,
the
Oh, yeah.
takeaway
it's
from
so
when you
inspiring.
watch that. Yeah.
It is so inspiring.
Regardless of anything else. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Hey, Rob, let's dive into the questions. We've got about 10 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Hi, Amanda. This is Teddy Bear. Glad you're on the show. What first drew you to Irmo as a story? Was it the Little League success, or was it something deeper that you sensed once you got there? Let us know.
I think it was partially because of the fact that they had 4 teams reach championships and that had never happened before for any little league team, but also I think just the character of the team that was there in Irmo. Dave Bogan was someone who would talk to the media after wins and after losses, whereas some managers opted to skip that press conference. And I totally understand. I totally understand skipping it, but for the coaches who did decide to speak with us, I thought that it showed a lot about them and what they're trying to teach their team in moments of defeat. Because as great as all the wins are, as great as all the success is, it's also learning how to lose and learning how to lose properly and with high character. And I think that just seeing that snippet and going to Irmo and seeing everyone kind of have that same mentality, I think speaks soundly of not only why they're good at what they do, but why there have so many people involved because it truly is just a welcoming environment, even if the results aren't there at the end of the game.
Great answer.
Yeah.
Hi, Amanda. It's Teddy Bear again. I got another question for you. What other baseball communities fascinate you right now? Is there one? And also, did anyone in Irmo say something funny or so honest that you had to stop yourself from laughing while you were taking the notes? Thanks.
Other baseball communities, I'm not really sure. I guess I'm just interested, if I ever got the chance to go see what another program looks like and kind of compare it to what I saw at Irmo. And something that was funny that just kind of kept up is nobody understood why I was there. I have no connection to South Carolina. I'm from New Jersey, but like I go to Penn State and Penn State sent me there. They all were blown away at that, which was really funny. But I think that them just saying that they were having like kids sign autographs in schools was pretty crazy. That was kind of like something you don't expect a 12-year-old to be doing, like trying to get from class to class. But they apparently were supposed to be doing a lot of online work, but they kind of really didn't always do it there because why wouldn't you want to play ping pong with someone from Japan or from Hawaii or from Venezuela or something like that? That's obviously way cooler than math, so can't even blame them.
Amanda, JC here. I understand you cover all things Penn State. What about Penn State's baseball program and some of the things that they do during the baseball season, like hot dog races? Maybe you could comment about that.
Okay, so I don't always cover Penn State baseball or softball, but I think baseball is pretty much on the up and ups. They made a pretty good run through the Big Ten tournament last year, which was good. It's like I think now this is gonna be their 3rd season with their new coach. They had a ton of players drafted, and they do have every Tuesday dollar dog nights. So if you want to get a
Ooh.
college kid into the stadium, you're gonna have a dollar dog night and they like to post graphics of how many hot dogs are consumed, and it's a very scary number. It is a very scary number, and I have friends who do broadcasts for our student radio station, and they will try to do 9 and 9 innings, and sometimes they succeed, but then you just have horror stories after the fact. So I personally am not a big hot dog person, which kind of I guess is like a crime for anyone who watches baseball. I'll have like maybe 1 or 2 a year, and that's like all I'm good for. So you would never find me doing 9 to 9 innings. So props to anyone who has the stomach to do that. But yeah, that definitely gets everyone in, especially when the sun's out in the spring. Everyone wants to be outside anyway. It's free admission with your student ID. So when you only have to pay $1 for a hot dog, they're all gonna go.
You
So
can't
it's
go
pretty,
wrong.
Yeah.
You
pretty
can't go
cool.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, challenge accepted.
Yeah, we can do
Great.
that. Sure.
It's not gonna be that warm here, but feel free.
Yeah,
to-
good luck. Good luck with you showing an ID, student. Yeah, right.
If we travel to Irmo, I'm going to make Rob do okra every inning.
But here, okay, all right, fine. You bring back an okay. And I was gonna. What was your favorite chicken butt donut flavor?
Oh, I just went traditional. I
Okay.
wasn't brave enough to do anything other than the classic, even though they all smelled fantastic. I just went traditional, and it's not like a Dunkin' Donut or like any chain donut. It's better. So they do it right. The owner is someone who grew up in Irmo, played through Irmo Little League, and now is back. So he knows what these kids are looking for when they sponsor teams and stuff at the snack stands. So. It smells great in there. It's off like the side of the road. They have a really funny sign. And there's a cat named Oreo that roams around too. So pretty cool.
it's
I mean,
it's funny because if you look the article up on Fangraphs, because as you're going through the article and you're reading it,
Yeah.
like, you get completely distracted by the picture of chicken butt donuts.
You
And
do.
It's everything you want it to
Too
be.
good. It's too
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and because Amanda, because we're so immature, we would pull off the road and go to anything called chicken butt. So we'd
But
be
that's why it works. That's why
yeah,
Exactly. There you go.
they got you. So they're doing something right. If you don't have to be there, you're gonna pull over.
that's right. Hey, Robbie, you got one more there?
One more, yeah. This is a good question. I wish I had thought of it.
Hi, Amanda. What did a typical reporting day look like when you were in Irmo? And did anything you learned not make it to the final article, but it still sticks with you? Let us know if there is.
So a typical day was I was able to set up interviews with some of the people working for the league, like Bobby, the president, in random times throughout the day. But other than that, my cousin and I were just driving around. We went to Lake Murray just to see it, to see people fishing. I was just like stopping in all these random businesses and like interrupting their day, like, hi, can I talk to you? I'm from Pennsylvania. And they're like, huh? But then it was like every evening I'm at the ballpark, just kind of seeing how people are interacting, talking to parents just off the record of seeing like how long they've been involved, why they're involved, and kind of like taking note of those common themes. And then just finding times to like meet with players specifically who are on those teams and stuff like that weren't necessarily competing in fall ball. But that's kind of what it was. And anything I learned that didn't make it, I feel like I packed a lot in there, so it's hard for me to think of something specific that didn't make it. So nothing's really coming to mind there. But that was pretty much my experience of like what each day looked like.
Okay, good. Well, we just got a comment about the show, Amanda.
Okay.
I want you to take this the right way.
Best shows we've heard. Hey, the Shanks are on date night again, and this is one of the best shows we've ever heard.
I'm
These
honored.
are our friends, and they consider a date night watching this show. Wow, that is. I guess we're better than anything on TV. But okay, great. Well, Amanda, thank you very much. This was a lot of fun for
Thank
us.
you. Yes.
We really appreciate you coming on the show with us, and we've been passing the article around
Oh,
to some
awesome.
of our
Thank you,
friends.
guys.
So
This was
you're
super
getting some
fun.
coverage. Yeah.
Good.
Thank you, Almanac, as always. Thank you, micdup.
Before we wrap it up,
Yep.
where can
Sure.
people that now enjoy your writing, where can we follow you?
Yeah, so if you follow me on X at AmandaV_3, I normally am posting out most of my articles there. But basically every social media platform, I'll post them out. Sometimes they'll make it on my LinkedIn when it's something big like this, but for all of like my typical Penn State on SI stuff with football stories through the off season and draft and spring ball coming up. Those I'll be reposting on my X account.
Again, say that
Great.
again. What's the address?
It's Amanda V_3.
On X. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll do it.
Yeah, it'd be great
guys.
because I'm sure you'll write another great article that we're going to want to talk to you about.
Yes.
Happy to join you guys whenever. This was
Yeah.
fun.
Great.
You passed
Thank
the
you.
test. It was great.
Great.
All right. Hey, thanks for joining us, everyone. And we'll get this posted up on YouTube for everybody to see. Robbie, ready to play us out?
Absolutely. Thanks again, Almanac. Thank you,
Thank
Amanda.
you.
It was a great show.
Thanks, thanks, Amanda.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And you can talk during the theme song. We always do. It's kind of
We
fun.
don't care, but we can talk right into the theme. The production value is so good.
From Lowlifes.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thanks again.